had asked about, or when are we going to read this? We're going to read this, and we're going to read the Lotus Sutra together. This is the record of the orally transmitted teachings, for those of you that don't know what this is. This is the Daishonen's expression of what the Lotus Sutra actually is stating for those that live in the latter day of the law. It's the basis of his Buddhism of sowing. Okay, so I'm going to read from that from page 3 to discuss.
What was the question?
The question was basically, Rekha was asked saying, thank you about the OTT. I'm just letting Rekha know that what I'm going to read now is the definition of Nam-myoho-renge-kyo, because that helps explain part of what was just asked a minute ago. So this is so that you understand what is Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. The record of the orally transmitted teachings, the Ongikuden, which is what this book is, says Namu or Nam is a Sanskrit word. Pardon me. Here, it means to dedicate one's life. That is, to the person and to the law. In terms of the person, one dedicates one's life to Shakyamuni Buddha. In terms of the law, one dedicates one's life to the Lotus Sutra. Dedication means dedication to the principle of eternal and unchanging truth of the theoretical teaching. And life means that one's life, dedicated to that principle bases itself on the wisdom of the truth of the essential teaching that functions in accordance with changing circumstances. In essence, one dedicates one's life to Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. Now, did you understand what that first paragraph said? Okay, so let me start again. The record of the orally transmitted teachings, Ongikuden, says Namu or Nam is a Sanskrit word. Here it means to dedicate one's life, that is, to the person and to the law. In terms of the person, one dedicates one's life to Shakyamuni Buddha. In terms of the law, one dedicates one's life to the Lotus Sutra. Okay, so this is about the devotion of your life. This isn't a minor thing, saying Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. It's easy to say. It's very difficult to do. The important thing is you must do what you're saying ultimately and come to the understanding of what that is. It says, in terms of the person, one dedicates one's life to Shakyamuni Buddha. In terms of the law, one dedicates one's life to the Lotus Sutra. Dedication means dedication to the principle of eternal and unchanging truth of the theoretical teaching. Okay, so now what's that? What's dedication means the dedication, what's the principle of eternal and unchanging truth of the theoretical teaching? Nam-myoho-renge-kyo as an expression of a concept, a theoretical concept, because it's not in the latter half, right? It's in theoretical first 14 chapters. When we talk about the expedient means chapter where this starts to get spelled out, that's still not in the essential teaching, right? That's the theoretical teaching. So he says, dedication means dedication to the principle of eternal and unchanging truth of the theoretical teaching, that Nam-myoho-renge-kyo exists. Its original state exists. And life means one's life dedicated to that principle bases itself on the wisdom of the truth of the essential teaching that functions in accordance with changing circumstances. So what is that, what is that essential teaching that functions in accordance with changing circumstances? Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. Do you understand? Okay, so they're the same thing, but one is the theoretical expression of it, the other is the actualized expression of it in the real world. Do you understand? One is to conceptualize based on the sutras, the other one is to live in your daily life. That's the difference, okay? So, I'll say it again. Nam or Nam is a Sanskrit word. Here it means dedicate one's life. So again, dedicate one's life. That's a very strong concept. That's not casual. That's not, I just want to go to heaven. Okay? That's, I want to change the world to be a better place and save others. All right? That is to the person and to the law. In terms of the person, one dedicates one's life to Shakyamuni Buddha or the original teaching, as that is expressed. In terms of the law, one dedicates one's life to the Lotus Sutra. Dedication means dedication to the principle of eternal and changing truth of the theoretical teaching, and life means that one's life, dedicated to that principle, bases itself on the wisdom of the truth of the essential teaching that functions in accordance with changing circumstances. Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. In essence, one dedicates one's life to Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. In essence, one dedicates one's life to Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. This is not a casual thing you're doing when you say Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. You're actually expressing out loud, my devotion is eternal and unflinching, unmovable. It's infinitely broad and infinitely deep. Do you understand? Okay, so a commentary, I'm continuing on page 3 of the orally transmitted teachings. A commentary by Dingyo says, that which accords with changing circumstances, that which is unchanging, these are tranquil and shining in a single moment of life. Again, dedication refers to the element of physical form as it pertains to us, while life refers to the element of mind as it pertains to us. But the ultimate teaching tells us that form and mind are not two things, because they never exist separately, even though they actually can be functionally separated. My physical form and what's going on here, this is eternal, this isn't. Okay? Understand that. So he's saying, again, dedication refers to the element of physical form as it pertains to us, while life refers to the element of mind as it pertains to us. But the ultimate teaching tells us that form and mind are not two things. As a commentary, the annotations on the profound meaning of the sutra, volume 1 says, because the Lotus Sutra leads to the ultimate truth, it is called the Buddha vehicle. We may also note that Nam, or Namu, of Nam-myoho-renge-kyo is a Sanskrit word, while Myoho, Renge, and Kyo are Chinese words. Sanskrit and Chinese join in a single moment to form Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. If we express the title in Sanskrit, it will be Sadharma Pundarika Sutram. This is Myoho-renge-kyo in Sanskrit. Sad, the phonetic change of sat, means myo, or wonderful. Dharma means ho, law, or phenomena. Pundarika means renge, or lotus blossom. Sutram means kyo, or sutra. Okay? Kyo means sutra. The 9 characters that represent the Sanskrit title are the Buddha bodies of the 9 honored ones. This expresses the idea that the 9 worlds are inseparable from the Buddha world, that the worlds that the common mortals exist in are inseparable from the world that the Buddha exists in. Myo stands for the Dharma nature, or enlightenment, while Ho represents darkness or ignorance. Together, Myoho expresses the idea that ignorance and the Dharma nature are a single entity. That's why we can simultaneously manifest Buddhahood from our 9-world life at that moment, that we're capable of making that transition based on the wisdom and the profound fortune that we've attained ourselves through our own actions and our own behavior. This is not faith. This is action.
Yes.
Myo stands for the Dharma nature, or enlightenment, while Ho represents darkness or ignorance. Together, Myoho expresses the idea that ignorance and the Dharma nature are a single entity. Why is that so important? Because you could never get rid of all the ignorance before you had a chance to get a crack at Dharma nature. If it worked that way, we'd all be screwed. They're both simultaneous. It's which one are you manifesting? If one's manifest, you can manifest the other one. You're alive. Renge stands for the 2 elements of cause and effect. Cause and effect are also a single entity. They are a single entity. It's not cause and effect. It's cause and effect. Okay? For every time there's an effect being expressed, a cause is made at the same moment. It says, Kyo. This is where we get confusion, because Kyo does not mean sound or vibration. Okay? It means sutra. But it refers to that element or that aspect. And you need to be clear on that. What does it mean? It doesn't mean sound or vibration. It means sutra. But this is the teaching that expresses and expands a little bit. Kyo represents the words and voices of all living beings, because all living beings possess the Buddha nature, right? So this aspect exists already inherently in all of them. Okay? A commentary on the Profound Meaning, Volume 1 says the voice, which is the truth, the voice carries out the work of the Buddha. And this is called kyo, or sutra. Teaching, truth, the point. Kyo also may also be defined as that which is constant and unchanging in the three existences of past, present, and future. The teaching is consistent and unchanging no matter what lifetime you're in, right? That's what it just said. The Dharma realm is Myoho, the wonderful law. The Dharma realm is Renge, the lotus blossom. The Dharma realm is Kyo, the sutra. Renge, the lotus blossom, is the Buddha bodies of the 9 honored ones seated on the 8-petaled lotus. Think all this over very carefully. Okay, so whenever you have the Daishonin in any of his writings say, think all this over very carefully, I guarantee you didn't get it on the first shot. I guarantee you that just told you need to read this for maybe many years. Okay? Seriously.
Yes.
Don't ever think you can read this stuff and first pass, you got it. It's not. It doesn't work that way. 47 years later, I can tell you it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So please continue to have a seeking mind. And I'm sorry my computer keeps going to sleep on me. All right. So I've discussed with Mika. I've discussed the question that Andre had asked. I've qualified to Rekha. Yes, we're going to do this. And I just read this because I know Rekha is looking for input on that. Okay, so go to the next, George. Thank God for George. Okay, Mr. Lee. God, I owe you a few things here, bro. But I might not get to all of them tonight. Mr. Lee, I need to let you know, okay, you're saying next week, words on embracing suffering. And what does that really mean? And embracing suffering doesn't mean like welcoming it and getting off on it. That's not embracing suffering in the context of what this embracing suffering means. Embracing suffering means that when you are met with an obstacle or a difficulty, you're not defeated. When you embrace the suffering, you go, the hell with you. I said the F word again. You basically take that suffering and you determine you're going to defeat it, and you don't get all, even if it makes you cry, even if it makes you hurt, you don't care. In fact, you say through the tears, you can't stop me. You can't stop me. You will not stop me. You have no idea how many times I've chanted Daimoku like that to the Gohonzon because my life was trying to stop me. And I just basically say, do your worst. You'll never get me to stop. I will not stop. I refuse to stop. If this is an exercise and you trying to get me stopped, go ahead. See how long. I will not give up. That attitude has made me win a lot. I have won so much in my life because I have absolutely believed the teaching that I can't be defeated. I'm a badass. I'm a Buddha. I'm a disciple. I'm an original disciple of the original teacher. Nam-myoho-renge-kyo is my life. Okay? When I come to that understanding, and that doesn't come just because I woke up. Okay? That comes because I've been embracing the Gohonzon with the desire to fulfill my mission for the law of cause and effect and the law of Nam-myoho-renge-kyo, and to be able to encourage people that I don't know, but I know you all. It's so weird. And you're all getting to know me a little better, and we'll know each other better and better as time goes by. But that's why we're all here. So, Mr. Lee, embracing suffering is not being a masochist. Embracing suffering is kicking its freaking ass the minute you meet up with it and telling everybody how you did it. Okay? Seriously. It's about winning. That's embracing suffering. Winning says, I don't care if you lay a glove on me. Before it's all over with, I'm going to lay many on you. You'll be the one on the ground, not me. That's how Buddha thinks. That's how we should all try to live our lives, with that same kind of conviction, that same kind of confidence, that same kind of power. Nichiren's writings are filled with that attitude. Okay? That's where I get it. Okay? I'm not emulating anybody but what I've read. Okay? And when the Daishonin says, do your worst, you can't defeat me, then that must qualify me too. All right? So going on to the next George. So that's Mr. Lee. I'm going to give you a whole hour at some point in time because I know I'm just going to start going backwards from here. We got some time. Doesn't look like coronavirus is going away anytime soon. We may be doing this for a while, at least another month. Okay, here's another one then. This one's, this is just to remind me to say hi to Karen Hill and Blue Geisha. How are you guys doing? I know you're there. Thank you. I love you both. And this one I think is going to be another shout out. Jackie Scott and Faye and Nancy Hughes. And you know, Nancy, you still haven't written me at Old Soup PP, so I can give you the input that you wanted on the Jigage. And so Nancy Hughes, there's so many other names as we go through here. I'll start in the next 2 weeks. I'll start mentioning all of you that you've ever left a message. Sorry. And then TW. I'm not going to mention your name because I hope I don't blow you off in a way that you stop listening, because anytime I hear about somebody talk about how they practice on and off, it's always a statement that you don't realize that you're making in the process of making, but you're already qualifying why the circumstance has arisen in your life that has made you have these issues so that it's on and off. Because if it gets turned on properly, it never goes off. There may be times when you miss Gongyo. There may be times when you didn't get to a meeting. Those kinds of things, that's not off. Off is when you're tight-head. As Blue Geisha would tell you, she rolled up her Gohonzon. By the way, Blue Geisha, you better have that Gohonzon unrolled by now. I hope. I'm trusting that. But again, TW, it's like, this is the statement you make. It's like, okay, what? Because and everybody will ask the same question. And unfortunately, in today's day and age, a lot of people try to, this has been stressed by President Keita, the importance of this reality. It wasn't expressed so much in the early days. And if you've been practicing for 3 decades or more, or had Gohonzon for 3 decades or more, you probably go back to understand the point I'm making. And that's that, this whole thing about mentor-disciple relationship was not really emphasized 35 or 40 years ago, because President Keita wasn't really at a point yet where he was able to actually convey what he was doing in Japan everywhere, and to have it done in the right manner and the right words. And that's why I say again, don't go read all the old shit from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. Why would you do that when you have contemporary translations, all the stuff you need now? Just go to www.nichirenlibrary.org. Just read that. Just go volume 1, volume 2 of the writings of Nichiren Daishonin. Learn everything in the dictionary you can. Read their orally transmitted teachings. Let the Gohonzon inspire your life the way it's inspired mine. Nobody had to tell me to do any of this shit. Gohonzon. Frankly speaking, it just came. When you think that, it says, why do you need a mentor to obtain enlightenment? You don't. Nobody obtains enlightenment. There's no such thing as obtaining enlightenment. Enlightenment isn't obtained, it's revealed. It's your original state. So your whole copped attitude about who's qualified to give me something is wrong. And it might be a reason why you've had on and off practice all this time. I don't know. I sure don't want you to suffer anymore. I don't want you to go anywhere. Hang with me. I'll help make it clear. But you got a little bit of an issue. I think that you really need, I would hope that you'll reflect in the way that I've had to. You think I've had this perfect practice for 47 years. No, it's never been perfect. I'm too me to be perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. But powerful? Oh shit, yeah, it's been powerful as hell. It's been powerful beyond hell. It's been powerful to the point that people have had to recognize that power. That's what you want. It's not to dispute things for the sake of disputing them. It's to understand the truth for why it is the truth. That's what we have to have a seeking spirit about. Okay, so no, you don't need another human being to get it. No, it's already in you. But you do. It does help to eliminate confusion and get to the point before you quit again. To have somebody there that's connected to you, that cares enough about you, that they want you to not quit. They don't want you to go through that cycle. They want you to go through this cycle. I don't know if you could. They don't want you to go through this cycle. They want you to go through this cycle. Okay? That's what we're trying to get to. And that's why I read. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm, putting myself out there to be made out to be an idiot if you can. Go for it. You won't make it. I'll beat your ass. Trust me, I'm not bullshitting about that one. I'll beat your ass. So, anybody that wants to be a devilish function to me, go for it. You'll see the effect in your life. I'm not worried about mine. Mine's in pretty good shape. I want all of yours to be as in good a shape as mine is. Mine's coming to its conclusion over the course of the next decade or 2 or 3, who knows? Some of you are just at the beginning. I wish I could tell you what you will know versus what you do know, but that's really all up to you. I can only tell you that you will know more and more and more as each day goes by. And the more that you have profound faith that demands actual proof from the Gohonzon, and then you're willing to put forth the effort in front of the Gohonzon with daimoku, with an open mind, not like, if you don't do this, I'm going to do that. No, it's the seeking spirit, man. If you come after this like a thirsty man looking for water, you can't fail to have your life changed forever. And if you change your life forever, you will affect the change of the lives of many others forever. And when we affect our lives forever, it's for freaking ever. It isn't for just a little while. It's not like we have to go struggle and learn. This is all a progressive process that never stops progressing. It goes from one life to the next. We don't revert to a circumstance that we don't ask to. That's pretty powerful stuff. I don't think there's any religion that offers more power than that in the promise of eternal anything. Really, frankly, no, I can't think of anyone. If anybody wants to make a comment, they can. The point is that I'm going to wrap it now. I'm sure there's more I could say, but I probably have run out of time and energy to do it. So I will see you again next week. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being with us. Wash your hands, keep your masks on, do all the things that are necessary to stay healthy, and keep chanting daimoku for the sake of the law, for the sake of Kosen Rufu, and for the sake of your Buddha nature being developed and expressed in your daily life. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you.